So it wasn't that long ago that I featured my very own electric BMX bike here up on the channel, a DIY conversion kit that I put on my existing bike to electrify it to see what was possible. And since then, it's gotten pretty cool within the industry, the fact that there are some BMX bikes being electrified. Whether they're doing mid-drive motors, high-drive motors, or hub motors, I want to feature them here on the channel because I have a BMX background. I want to see if it's more geared towards just the everyday rider who's looking to just kind of fit in with their kids or just kind of feel nostalgic, or are they capable of doing tricks, or a little bit of both? With that being said, this is Evolved, and this is called the Project BMX. Evolved is an electric skateboard brand dabbling in the BMX space, making their own electric BMX bike, but is it going to be good? That's a really good question. The video is not sponsored by Evolved, but I do have a video sponsor today, Phantom Wallet, which we'll be talking about momentarily. Now this bike does come with a 500 watt mid-drive motor, has a top speed of around 23 miles per hour. I mean, it's got a lot of things that I do like about it, some of the stuff I don't like about it, and that's what we're going to do is we're going to dive straight into the specs and get right into the nitty-gritty and if this bike is actually worth it. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Today's video is sponsored by Phantom Wallet. Phantom has wallets that can fit any budget, any style, have RFID protection, and come with a lifetime warranty on all models. Whether you want something simple, slim, and on a budget like the Phantom S that can add accessories like a money clip, coin holder, or an AirTag, or if you want to have something a bit more high-end like the Phantom X that is all aluminum and can add accessories like a coin holder, cash holder, ID holder, silicone band, and more, or if you want to go full minimalistic like the Phantom C MagSafe wallet that can attach to your iPhone, all great options to keep you organized and minimalistic on a budget. Thanks again for Phantom Wallet for sponsoring today's video. Now the Project BMX I'm riding here today retails for $3,099. This is the black version with Skyway Tufts, but it also comes in chrome with spoked wheels, which retails for $2,999. Now let's do a brief overview of the specs of the Project BMX before we get into the testing. Simplifying the specs, the top speed of the bike is 23 miles per hour, the range is 37 miles, the power output of this mid-drive motor is 500 watts with a max output of 750 watts and has 5 different modes for pedal assist and throttle use. Now the weight of the bike is 45 pounds and it is fully chromoly. Whether it be heat treated, that's something I'm not 100% sure of, but this bike is fully chromoly and that is a major plus. Now the range of 37 miles that they claim is only under pedal assist, not throttle only. The top speed that they claim is 23 miles per hour, which is in pedal assist and throttle only, which we definitely will be putting to the test. Now the 5 modes I'll be going over in my speed test will be telling you exactly the top speed of each mode as well as throttle only straight into the brake test. Now the battery power in the bike is a 36 volt 9.6 amp hour Samsung battery that is built into the seat of the bike, which does have its flaws and I will talk about that here as we get further into the video. Now the motor on this bike is a Bafang M560 mid-drive motor, which is a 48 volt 500 watt motor with a max output of 750 watts. Now moving on up to the handlebar. The bar is a traditional style BMX bar as well as the stem and grips. When it comes to the brakes, you're going to have 2 different options on this bike. This one specifically was sent to me with 2 different sets of brakes. A rear mechanical disc brake with 160mm rotor and an old school style front brake with cool stop pads, which I'm really curious to see how these things actually do, not only here at the skate park, but on a speed test. On the left-hand side, you will have your display to be able to navigate through all of your speed options, and on the right side, you have your throttle. Now, keeping that 80s theme with 24-inch Skyway Tuff wheels, you're wrapping those wheels in Kenda Road Slick tires that are 24 by 2.10. Now that we have that brief overview out of the way, let's get over to the skate park. All right, so we've got the Project BMX out here at Newport Skate Park. This is my local skate park. This is where it all started for me 20 years ago. Turning it into a career for 15 years and then transitioning into a YouTube channel where I only did BMX content until I started to really fall in love with all things cycling, especially e-bikes. Now, when it comes to e-bikes, I started basically doing my own e-BMX, a little DIY e-BMX, which is in the description below for you to be able to check out. Nice. Oh!
Oh, thanks, man. And then I got into checking out the Chimera electric BMX, and now I get to check out the all-new Project BMX, and we're gonna put it up against a all-new Chimera electric BMX in the next video. But with that being said, I'm saying all that because I need to bring it here to the skate park to see if it's capable of even riding a skate park. It's got the aesthetic of a BMX bike, but is it capable to, you know, even take any of the stuff here? It's got the 80s mag wheels. This is really gonna be suitable for somebody, I guess, that grew up in the 80s and 90s that kind of wants to ride with their kid or just have that nostalgic feeling. A couple of things I'm gonna say right off the bat. This is as low as the seat will go, so I'm kind of limited to what tricks I could do. That's because of this cable that's right in here that goes into the seat post. I didn't want to hack the seat post because this will be going to another creator right after this video. Another thing is the handlebars can't be spun around either direction because of how short the cables are. On my BMX bike, I was able to do that with tail whips and bar spins, so we're not gonna be able to do it here on this bike. That being said, let's give it a little cruise and see how it feels, basically just going through each pedal assist level. I guess first thing is the good old fakie. See how it feels to do a sit-down fakie. Little slider action there. See if we can get two. Two of them. I mean, it's interesting because you have to have the seat so high, but it's quite a bit of weight. Ooh, let's see if it can bottom out here. Nope, motor clearance on the roller is good. Let's jump this. Nice. So the weight feels good if you can get it up and over something. I will say with the larger wheelbase on a ramp like this is a little harder. I mean, these are, I believe, 8-foot radius. Something a little more mellow might be not as challenging. With that being said, let's see if we can do, kind of curious to see how well these, well, the front brakes don't work that well for skate park use, I could tell you that. When you put some weight behind that, I don't trust that. But it has a 160 millimeter mechanical disc brake on here. I want to see if we can do a tire tap or a foo-foo or something on here and then kind of take it from there. I feel like we could do some type of tire tap or foo-foo here. Holding it. Oh my God, it's so much weight to lug around. I'm just not used to that. Can't wait to put this thing up against the Chimera Shadow. It's a good comparison because the price points are very, very close. The components and how it rides is definitely going to be a bit of a change. With that being said, let's get up to the front and try a couple jumps of this, see what this thing is capable of, see how it feels, see if this high seat actually plays a factor with any of that. All right, so now we bring it up front. I will tell you right now, I'm not going up this wall. It's a very big bike. It's a lot of weight to try to huck around for this specifically, but I'm gonna carve this wide quarter pipe and hit that little spine fly out box thing. Get a good idea on how this thing feels to jump. Like I said, the seat is pretty high, so it does bump up and hit you. Not really gonna be able to do many tricks, but let's give it a little whirl. A little throttle. You can pedal too, a little bit of pedal assist. Pumping, no throttle. Coming around, throttle right out of this. Woo! Nice. I mean, that's a hard landing for this bike, but it is what it is. Feels pretty good. I mean, fakies, old school fakies, sitting down. You feel like you're from the 1980s on this bike, not even gonna joke. But it's cool. It's got a place. Where is that place? I don't know if it's here at the skate park, but it is gonna be a nostalgic feeling for somebody to, you know, who grew up in the 80s, 90s, wants to have a BMX style bike, still maybe be able to hit the skate park, minus this wall stuff here. I mean, I really don't think I can get up there and feel comfortable coming down. I mean, the bike does have a little bit of flex. I just don't trust it. That's just me coming from my BMX background. I'll give it a little pump just to kind of see. Kind of coast here. About as high as I can go. I mean, that seat already hits me in the butt as soon as I go to bunny hop, and that can be pretty dangerous. Little 1-footer. That's basically as much as we're gonna do here on that wall. As far as jumps, like I said, we're kind of limited. Front brakes don't really work that good for skate parks. Let's take it over and see what the speed test looks like here. See what our top speed can be. All All right, so with the Project BMX speed test and brake test, if you're unfamiliar with how I do things on the channel, I do a speed test through all 5 pedal assist levels, showing you what the output is out of each level, as well as a throttle only, see what the top speed is, and a brake test. We have a 160mm mechanical disc brake on the rear and a traditional old school front brake with cool stop pads. Let's see what this thing's capable of. Let's have it in pedal assist level 1. It is a single speed, so you're not really going to be able to pedal like you're thinking and switching through all the gears. It's got a good feel, smooth take up so far. Pretty true to speed. Pedal assist level 2. The display is actually pretty nice for what it is too, actually. Pretty nice, true to speed. Pedal assist level 3. If I put a little bit more effort, we can go even faster. True to speed. Pedal assist level 4. Pretty much capped out with the single speed. Pedal assist level 5. Let's put a lot of effort in. See if we can reach that 23. We did. Let's push it a little harder. All right, let's see what the throttle only is capable of. All right, back here, throttle only, keeping it in pedal assist level 5. Ready, set, go. It's a pretty responsive throttle, actually. It wasn't really any lag there from pressing it in. Already reached 20. A little bit of a headwind. Let's see if we can get this 23 miles per hour claims on throttle only. If I get pretty low. Looks like we're pretty capped out right there. We're so close. I feel like the right circumstances, you probably could reach that 23, and there it is, right circumstances. All right, let's test out these brakes in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. I do have to say the brakes aren't the best. That is easily 50 to 55 feet. I don't know if you can see that little white dot right there on the edge of the trail. It's basically where I started to slam on the brakes. The rear brakes took a little bit to lock up. I'm not gonna lie about that. The front brakes, I locked them on as hard as I could. Basically just kind of slowed down the front wheel. Yeah, I do think these need to be hydraulic disc brakes, which we'll talk about here as we get further in the video. Let's go review the stats. All right, so going over the stats through pedal assist 1 through 5, we traveled a total distance of 1,404 feet with a max speed of 26.2 miles per hour, an average speed of 17.8 miles per hour in 57 seconds, which is actually pretty impressive. I put a lot of my own effort into this pedaling to be able to achieve that 26.2 miles per hour, but I am really impressed for what it is. Let's get straight into the throttle only test. Now for throttle only, I traveled a total distance of 1,181 feet with a max speed of 23.7 miles per hour, an average speed of 20.2 miles per hour in 41 seconds. Now that's actually pretty impressive because it did claim a top speed of 23 miles per hour, and we were able to achieve over that with a bit of a headwind. So yeah, not too bad actually. Let's get back over to the garage and give you guys my final thoughts on the Project BMX by Evolved. So in closing, the Project BMX is exactly what you see here. It's the 80s nostalgic electrification of a BMX bike, and I do love that about it. But there's a couple things I don't love about it. Let's talk about the price point first, $29.99. I think it's a bit high for what you get here. I think it should be priced more around $17.99, maybe $18.99 for what you see here. But if you're gonna get that $3,000 price point, you're gonna need hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. These brakes on the front are basically useless. Maybe I much prefer the mechanical disc brake up front, but then again, this rear mechanical disc brake was basically useless for what I wanted it for at the skate park. I had to pump it in order to get it warmed up to lock up the way I wanted it to. With that being said, the seat and seat posts, the battery is within the seat. Can't change that, but that's okay. I don't like the fact that the seat post is basically locked at this height. So if I wanted to ride the skate park and do tricks, I'm kind of limited. And I'm only saying that because the cable from the battery goes down in through the seat post, into the seat tube, and into the motor to be able to give you that power. Now I probably could work around it and make it lower, but this bike is going to be going to another creator after me, and I didn't want to do that. Mag wheels. I love mag wheels. I love the way they look. I don't love the way they ride when it comes to the skate park, but me, I think if I'm just cruising around, this is what I prefer when it comes to the wheel design. With that being said, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I'm going to be putting this up against another electric BMX bike here in a couple days, the all-new Chimera Shadow. So with that being said, let me know what your thoughts are on this Project BMX in the comment section below. Feel free to check out today's video sponsor, Phantom Wallet. With that being said, if you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.